Alright folks, I'm going to take a stab at fixing these controls here. These are my Outrigger controls, and a while back some wasps built a nest in there, and ever since these things have been sticking together. They're supposed to move separately, but you can see when I move one, they both move. So we're going to take this apart and see if we can't fix that issue. Alright, so we're going to start with taking these bolts off. These are a 12mm bolt. Alright, so we got this panel loose. Just kind of fell open once I got all the bolts out of there. I was expecting to find a big wasp nest or something right in here, but I don't see nothing, so this might be a little trickier than I thought. Alright, so as you can see, there's absolutely no reason both of those should be moving at the same time, unless this pin right here is somehow frozen and making both of these move at the same time. Alright, so to get this plate the rest of the way up out of the way, if you lift it up and just pull on it, the boots will pop out of these frames, and makes it a lot easier to work in here. And then these actually go back in pretty easy. And then the other thing I did is I pulled the boot up and tucked it over so that it didn't keep sliding back down. Like that. Alright, so you can see there's a rod that runs through here and it's held on with this little clip. And unless that thing is binding on both of these plates here for this lever, I can't think of any reason why these should be moving at the same time. So we're going to take this clip off, take this pin out, and see if these move independently of each other. If they do, that will tell us I need to clean that pin off, lubricate it, and put it back in. This pin does not just want to push out of there. It might be part of my problem. We're going to see if we can't apply a little persuasion to it. Alright, finally. And it's tight. Alright, so you can see now that I got this loose, that moving this down here, it moves on its own just fine. So indeed, that pin right there, that's the source of my problems. So we're going to take that off and clean it up, lubricate it, put it back. Alright, so apparently just banging on that was enough to mushroom this out a little bit. In fact, I can feel a little bitty burr on the end here. So I'm going to have to file this down in order to get this to come out, because it's stuck in there pretty good. Alright, so this pin is like welded into that. I can't, it just won't come loose. So that's obviously my problem, is it's fused up inside these things somehow. Now, I don't know if that's just the corrosion has it caused those things to bind or what, but I'm going to whack that out of there with a hammer, and then put this on a drill and take some sandpaper to it and take it down a size or two, because there's no reason that needs to be a tight fit. It's just, you know, the pin over here is what's going to hold this in place and keep everything together. It should not be friction on here. So we're going to have to really do a number on this thing to get it working order. Why they designed that tight a tolerance to where it would bind up and fuse inside that hole is beyond me. Not a very good engineer, if you ask me. Alright, so I got this braced with some wood with a gap in it to where that pin can come out. Now we can whack it with a hammer. Look at that. That is tight. Alright, time to put this. It looks, you know what? Looks like it's bent. It may have been bent by me hammering it to get it out of there. But that's another problem. We ought to straighten that out before we put it in the drill. It's apparently a very soft piece of metal. It's certainly bent. If I had another one of these, I'd just replace it. In case you're wondering, this is 120 grit. Alright, that's starting to clean up a little bit. Doesn't help that we're all wobbly, but if you go slow, it should be okay. So I'm going to put that back in there and lubricate it and see if it'll work. If not, I've got two choices. Put this on the belt sander and order a new one. I hate to order a new one for something that's designed so poorly. Alright, so I'm going to try to put this back together. And I was thinking that if this didn't work, I would put this on the grinder and make it a couple sizes smaller. But then I got to thinking about what I'm going to do is, if this doesn't work, I'm just going to put a little bit larger size drill hole through here, and that will give me the slack I need for this thing to work right. Car, it looks like I've got the things going back together pretty easy, so that tells me I've got the play in it that I need. I shouldn't have to drill or grind anything. Alright, so now when I move one, the other one does not move, which is a good thing. Now why they're slightly not even anymore is another mystery. See how these are not even? And I don't know why. They shouldn't be. Went together the same way they came apart. Well, it is what it is. Alright, I'm going to spray that with some WD-40 to keep it working freely like it is now. Alright, time to put the plate back on and the boots and reassemble. Alright, so there we go. We got independently working outrigger controls again. Again, why they're not lined up there, I don't know. If I figure it out, I'll let you know.